practice number 1. Use the data set to make a box and whisker plot. Notice what I say, the first thing you're going to do, order the data to determine those 5 values we need. So go ahead and put, how many data values do we have first of all?
9.
We have 9 of them, okay?
Yeah.
So when you're done, you should have 9 of them, but in order. Okay? 33, so 33 is first.
35, or 36.
36 would be next.
40.
40 is third, okay?
45.
45.
50.
We have a 50, okay?
52.
55.
Yeah.
A 52. What's next?
55.
55 would be next.
62.
62
And 65.
and 65. Now again, this is just like when we did similar leaf plots. I said to you, make sure you've got all the data included, because if you right here, you mess up right here, it's going to throw the whole thing off. Almost everything could be wrong, if not everything could be wrong about it. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm going to make sure I have 9 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. So I'm feeling like I can move on. Okay. Okay. So the first thing we can do is we can always identify the minimum and the maximum. That's the easiest. Okay. So what's the minimum and what's the maximum for this one?
Minimum is 33, maximum.
So the minimum will be your lowest value. So our minimum is 33 for this data set, and the maximum will always be your highest. So 65 is the maximum. So there's 2 of our 5 values.
And we split it into 4.
Now we need, the next thing we'll find is the median. Let's find the median of this data set. So find the middle. Which of them is our
50.
So the 50, we land right on it, right? So this is our median. So let's put that. Okay, now, what we do when you land, and you need to really hear me clearly on this, okay, because this is where you're going to get messed up, you're not going to be sure what to do. When the median is one of the values of the data set, we do not use it now for the lower half or the upper half. Okay? So let me say that one more time. When the median is one of the data values, we do not use it for the lower half or the upper half. So what we do is we now say, okay, here's my lower half. It goes from 33 to 45.
38.
To find the quartile 1, we're going to find the median. So what we're going to look for is we're going to look for the, okay, let's just put this right here. Quartile 1 is the median of lower half.
Don't we go from 33 to 45 and find the middle?
Yeah, so we're going to find the middle between this 33 and this 45.
Then you have to go in one more in between 36 and 40.
So we have to take that 36 and that 40 and add them together.
Oh, I should have somewhere.
Yeah, there's another way to do it, just find halfway between, right? And divide by 2.
It's 48.
So that's 36 plus 40 is 76. And divide by 2 is 38. Or just like we said the other day, sometimes we don't even have to add them together. What we can do is say, what is halfway between those two numbers?
Well, I just go 36, 40, down 1, up 1.
Yeah.
Going that
I
way.
do that too. So the quartile 1 value is 38. So you went 36, 40, and then you did 39, 37, right? And then
37,
would be
39, then yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why I said 40 though.
Okay. Now, same thing. Now, when we're looking for quartile 3 value, that is going to be the median of the upper half. And our upper half actually goes from 52 to 65. So we're going to, this one might be a little trickier to find the middle without doing the adding and dividing thing. So what 2 numbers should we add together? 55 and the 62 get added together, and that's going to get divided by 2. Now, order of operations, you got to do the adding first here. Board of Operations would have you divide first, but we need a sum first, and then we're gonna divide by 2. 58. So it's, what's the median of this lower half, or upper half? 58.5? Okay. So our quartile 3 value is 58.5, and we won't round that, okay, we'll leave it 58.5. So here's the deal, if you look in your book on page 704 where we were, and you look down at the bottom, I want you to look at that one that's done in example 4. Okay, look at the one done in example 4. Box and whisker plot. The box is actually what we call the IQR, that middle 50% range. And then at each end are what we call whiskers. So box and whisker plot. So the first 25% of the data are in the whisker that's in the left end. Then there's that box, it's got a line in between it. That's the middle 50% of the data.
What about the line? I remember us doing this once before.
We actually do it above the line.
Oh, I heard us doing like on the line once. I don't do these.
I would like you guys to do them above the line, okay? Because we have learned how to be able to do, we're going to be doing more than one box and whisker plot on a page of 9. So we're just going to learn how to do them above. So here's what we're going to do. I want you to, first of all, you're going to look at, I helped you out by trying to make good number lines for you, okay? What intervals am I showing on this number line? It's going by 5. So we have to keep that into account when we're going to plot our points, okay? So what I want you to do is that instead of doing it on the number line, I want you to plot a point, and sometimes it's helpful to use your ruler. I can't really hear, but just to set your ruler like this so you can kind of follow up. Decide where 33 is. 33 would be about right here, right? So take your ruler and go up above, and let's just go like 2 lines above, and let's put it like there, okay? And you don't put the number by or anything, you just make a dot. So we're plotting 33, but instead of being on the number line, we're doing it above.
I'm correct.
And then, don't worry about drawing anything yet. Then the next thing I want you to do is I want you to put a point for 38. 38 would be about right here on this number line, so I'm going to go straight up, and I'm going to put a point at 38. Now you're ready to draw what's called the lower whisker. So now just connect those 2 dots.
You want us to like
No, we don't label it. So what we do is we just take this and we connect those 2 dots, and there's our what we call lower whisker. The first 25% of the data are represented in that section. Okay. So any concerns before we move on? Okay, then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to go and plot the next point, which would be 50. So 50 is, oh, that's a nice right there. We don't have to even kind of judge where it would be, and we just go straight up from it and put another point. We don't connect these 2 points in the line. We do not connect these 2 points in the line. Just hold on, okay? Let's go graph 58.5 now. So 58.5, and go straight up. These, between these points now, so starting here where we left off right here, and to here, we're going to make a box. So what I want you to do is with your ruler, I want you to make some vertical line segments going through those points, just like this. Some vertical line segments going right through those points. And then after you have those vertical line segments, you can complete your rectangle by drawing the horizontal across the top and the bottom, and you will have your box. The lower part of the box represents 25% of the data. The upper part of the box, so I'm talking right here when I'm saying lower and upper, this would be the lower part of the box. That represents 25% of the data. This represents 25% of the data. And now we have one more point to graph, and that is our 65. So we're gonna go up and put a point at 65. And we're gonna make what's called our upper whisker. So we're gonna connect those 2 points with another whisker. And we just now show the other 25% of the data. Okay, so again, we don't put those values on there, but instead, the reader is supposed to be able to tell, because you've made such a good graph, that they can follow up from the number line and they can tell where they're at. Okay? And again, the reason that I'm saying that I don't really want you to do it right on the number line is tomorrow we're going to make 4 box and whisker plots on the same graph. So they were all on the number line to be on top of each other. Okay? Now, notice, is every section the same length?
No.
No. And they don't have to be. Because what's happening is how long the section is showing you the range of values that's in that 25% of the data. So which 25% of the data has the largest range? The lower whisker, the lower box, the upper box, or the upper whisker? Lower box. The lower box. This one is the longest. This one is the longest, so we would say it has the longest range. The values are more spread out. Remember how box and whisker plots show the spread of the data. Okay. And then did we know, what did it say in the beginning what these were representing? I don't think so. I think it's just doing something to practice making.
Yeah, just
Okay. Okay. So anybody got questions about how to find those 5 values and then draw the box and whisker plot? Any questions at this time? Okay, we're going to go back and practice one more because there's going to be situations where, there was an odd number of data values in that last one, right? This one has an even. So we have to treat this one a little bit differently. So let's do what we need to do first of all, which is put it in order. So you go ahead and put them in order without me. Put your own, your data set ordered on your own. I'll try and do it myself, see if I can handle it. Again, count your original list, count your new list, make sure that they're equal in length. Okay. So, what are the 2 that are the fastest, easiest to find?
Maximum and minimum.
Maximum and minimum. So our minimum is what?
15.
15, and our maximum is 28. Okay. What's the next one that we find? You have to find this one next. The median of the whole data set.
Isn't it 24?
So what do? We count in from the outside, and do we land on a value that we can call the middle?
No.
No, what we have to do is we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have to take these 2 and find the middle between them.
24.5.
24.5. So the median is 24.5. So okay, now, remember what I said. If you land on an actual data value, then it's no longer part of the halves. Did we land on an actual value?
No.
No. So now what we'll do is we'll split this into 2 halves. We'll say, okay, there's the lower half to the left of that green line, and there's the upper half to the right of that green line. And now we will look for what is the median of the lower half, because that'll give us our quartile 1. So remember, quartile 1 is median of this half.
Okay. Put your points in, won't you?
No. So we start And we say, okay, we just start going in, 15 and 24, okay? 16 goes with 18. The median of this half is, so 15 and 24 come off the end, 16 and 18 come off, and we end up on, so the quartile one is 16. Now you find the quartile 3. What is the quartile 3? So notice, we treat them differently. When there's an odd number of data values versus an even number of data values, you have to keep it straight. How do you find that quartile 1 and that quartile 3? Okay, those are the ones that are going to be tricky. You have to remember, when do I include the median of the whole set and when don't I? Okay, so now go ahead and it looks like the number line goes by 5s again this time. Go ahead and make your 5 points and see if you can remember how to put together this box of biscuit plot. Oh. And when you're finished, I have mine done, so you can take a look also on it and see if you. So again, we apply our 5 points and we know how to connect them properly. So which one or ones have the smallest range, even though there's
Next, minimum line and maximum box.
the lower whisker we call this one. So this is called the lower whisker right here. See, that's a line, not a pen. Okay. So this is the lower whisker. It's only got a range of 1, right? And the, what's this called?
Medium.
No? What's this part called?
Upper box.
Upper box, and that one only has a range of 1. So those two don't have a very big spread. Their
So-
data values are not very spread apart. This one has.
So the right of that, inside the box, the right of the line in there is the upper median,
Upper box.
or upper box,
And this part is called the
lower box.
lower box.
No matter where it is, it's.
Yep.
Okay.
And that's.
And what's this called?
The upper whisker.
The upper whisker.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't get it, why do they call it?
Why are they called whiskers and boxes and? Okay,
It
well,
don't look like a whisker.
well, yeah, it's one of those hairs that stand straight up,
I don't know.
How else would you draw a whisker? Would you curl it?
That, and I draw one.
So, and as was, right now, we're just gonna kind of try and be learning how to make them, and then tomorrow, when we're working with our other ones, then we're gonna have to start being able to take them and process through, what is it really showing us? Okay, so today I'm just gonna let you get away with, the most important thing is you know how to make them, and then you might have to answer some questions though on your worksheet about them.